On June 18th, 2023, the Titan submersible, operated by OceanGate, went missing in the international waters off the coast of Newfoundland. The submersible was on a tourist excursion to view the wreck of the RMS Titanic. 5 individuals were on board, including the OceanGate CEO, Stockton Rush. The 5-day search for the missing Titan came to a tragic end on June 22nd in the same icy, unforgiving waters of the Atlantic Ocean that claimed the Titanic 111 years ago. Debris was discovered 500 meters from the wreck of the Titanic by a remotely operated vehicle. The 7-meter-long vessel had lost contact with the surface ship, the Polar Prince, an hour and 45 minutes into what would have been a 2-hour excursion to the ocean floor to visit the iconic scene, nearly 4,000 meters below the surface. For the next 5 days, ships, airplanes, and remotely operated vehicles from 4 countries, along with a wide range of private groups, combed through an enormous search area, racing against the clock and the 4-day air supply on board the Titan. But after debris was found, it was certain that the Titan's fate was not due to dwindling air supply. According to U.S. Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Mauger, the debris is consistent with a catastrophic loss of pressure. Although it's believed that the hull of the Titan collapsed near instantaneously under the enormous pressure of the Atlantic Ocean, the final moments on board were almost certainly terrifying. According to James Cameron, who has made 33 dives to the Titanic and who in 2012 visited the Mariana Trench, the deepest spot in the Atlantic Ocean, the passengers on board the Titan likely had some kind of warning before the implosion. They likely heard a noise as the hull began to delaminate. Cameron then went on to explain that delamination is the process of water forcing the layers of the hull apart, which in the case of the Titan were made of carbon fiber composite. Cameron stated that, "I actually believe they heard it with their own ears in the final moments of their lives," and that's a horrifying prospect to imagine. Cameron explained that carbon fiber composite was actually the wrong material to use for a submersible hull, as he voiced concerns about the construction of Titan. He explained that OceanGate had cut corners when building the submersible craft, and many experts along with him had concerns about its safety well before the excursion. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush was a self-proclaimed rule breaker and stated that he wanted to be the Captain Kirk of our lifetime, exploring the final frontier of the ocean. Carbon fiber, though, is a largely untested material for deep-sea vessels, but Rush had seen the material successfully used in aviation applications, and he believed that it would allow him to build the Titan more cheaply than the industry-standard steel vessels. Now, the shape of the Titan was also very unusual. The hull of a deep-sea sub is usually spherical, which allows it to receive an equal amount of pressure at every point on the craft, but the Titan had a cylinder-shaped cabin. And it's also worth noting that the glass window of the Titan was only certified to 1,300 meters, which is way below the depth of where the Titanic actually sits. And with the lives of so many innocent passengers on the line under the enormous pressure of the frigid Atlantic waters, this was certainly no time for experimentation. Among those on board was Suleiman Dawood. The 19-year-old was terrified about taking the trip, but he reluctantly agreed to go along in order to please his father, as the voyage fell on Father's Day weekend. It's an absolutely unthinkable disaster, which is only made worse by the fact that it was totally preventable.